Before I get started on this video, the video that I did about LeBron James being the embarrassment of this era, this is what a LeBron sexual fan sent me. This channel embarrassing making up stuff. Then when Bron retires, so does your channel. You see what LeBron sexuals do? Man, I tell you, I just gotta laugh at these LeBron sexuals. But let me get straight to the point. This video is about Shannon Sharpe calling out Rich Paul for what he said about Austin Reaves and how he is collateral damage when it comes to him speaking out on players who he's not even an agent to. How that hurts. You know what I'm saying? The narrative, and also Austin Reaves from getting his bag, and also it hurts because the Lakers are under LeBron James' pocket so much that they might just go with the trade and trade Austin Reaves because they don't want to disappoint LeBron James. But this is what I know what Rich Paul and LeBron James do. They get together, they make up these stories, they make up these narratives, they make up these perspectives, which is so embarrassing. And then when Rich Paul engages in these lies and in these fucking stories that they make up themselves, and they should be ashamed of doing that shit, then LeBron James plays the victim and says, no, Rich Porter, he's his own man. He can say what he want to say. But everybody knows, especially Austin Reaves knows how I feel about him. Let me tell you something. You was already talking shit about Austin Reaves before the fucking season started. You know what I mean? You don't want to be a third or fourth option. That's why you're doing what you're doing. These are narratives and these are games that Rich Paul and LeBron James play. We've never had an agent speak so freely and so disrespectfully when it comes about other players and what teams should do to make trades or have the possibility to trade. You know, other players who they are not agents to more than Rich Paul, to defend and to save and to make sure that the bag is confirmed for LeBron James to get it. So talking about Austin Reaves is just confirmation that this is something that LeBron James and Rich Paul congregate themselves to. They basically plan and set up these narratives, and then LeBron James plays a different character. He plays a different role, but not disrespecting Rich Paul, not even going at Rich Paul or attacking Rich Paul into saying, yo, you dead ass wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Don't talk about Austin Reaves like that. That's my teammate. You know, respect my teammate. You feel me? You my agent. Talk about me. You know what I mean? Don't talk about nobody else who don't correspond to you, who don't do contracts with you, and who also gets you to these stages in doing contracts with teams. You're my agent. No, LeBron James doesn't do that. What he does is like, hey, Rich Paul, go ahead and do that there, you know what I'm saying? And then when I get the backflash, I'll go ahead and defend you, but I might just throw you just a little bit out there, you know what I'm saying? So don't think it's a disrespect or nothing. I'm just playing your market. I'm playing your role. I'm playing your perspective. So just know that you doing that, I'm going to keep on making you money. I'm going to keep on, you know what I'm saying, making you richer on what you are. Because Clutch Sports, you know what I'm saying, it's endorsed through me. And Rich Paul got to abide by it. Because if he doesn't abide by it, he is going to fire Rich Paul. He is going to eliminate Rich Paul from Clutch Sports, and he's going to find another agent that is going to satisfy his needs and satisfy his narratives and satisfy his lies. So you see, Shannon Sharpe is known for jumping on the bandwagon from Michael Jordan to LeBron James. Because remember, when Shannon Sharpe, before he started doing podcast shows, ESPN and all that, he was always a Michael Jordan side. He was always a Michael Jordan fan. But once he got into LeBron James' pocket, he became a LeBron sexual. He became a Michael Jordan hater. So let's get to the fucking shenanigans in this bitch, because Shannon Sharpe has called out Rich Porter and said that he is talking too much about a player that he ain't even the agent to. So without further ado, here's my slogan to Rich Paul. What the fuck? It's Shannon Sharpe is talking about. Well, I'll tell you what he's talking about. He basically called out Rich Paul for basically co-signing into why Austin Reaves deserves to be traded from a player to the Grizzlies, if I'm not mistaken. A taller player, you know what I'm saying, that obviously plays the center, which is bullshit. And you know what I'm saying, to be able to secure LeBron James' bag with the Lakers. Shannon Sharpe, during the years, when it comes to certain aspects in LeBron James, he has spoken. He has said, hold on, LeBron, no. Especially the term of when LeBron James said that having more rings is weird and things to that. Him and Kendrick Perkins, they spoke and say, yo, rings do matter. People are going to remember you for championships, the championships that you won. They're not going to remember you for the All-Star, how many appearances you done in the All-Stars, how many, divisions you won in your within your camp yourself or whatever, or how many dunk competitions you won. You know what I'm saying? That's not what they're going to remember you for. They're going to remember you for your championships. And Shannon Sharpe, you know what I'm saying, also called LeBron James out with the Miami Heat situation and how he bag-wagged, you know what I'm saying, into the Miami Heat. So you see, Shannon Sharpe has his times when he doesn't defend LeBron James, but he has a weird behavior, a weird LeBron sexual behavior when it comes to him shining and glazing LeBron James. But in this matter, let's get straight to it. Shannon Sharpe recently criticized sports agent Rich Paul for publicly suggesting the Los Angeles Lakers trade Austin Reaves for Jaren Jackson Jr., calling it unprofessional and a potential case of tampering, which is against, you know what I'm saying, rules when it comes to the NBA, you know what I'm saying, and especially the commission office. Sharpe argues that an agent shouldn't publicly discuss other players or trade scenarios for a team that employs one of their clients, which is LeBron James. Thank you very much. Key insight, conflict of interest. That's exactly what that is. When you talk about other players being traded and that's not even your you know what I'm saying, your client, and you're the agent to whoever corresponds to you, but you're suggesting a conflict of interest of other players being traded, that's because you're trying to save your client's ass. You're trying to keep your client, you know what I'm saying, stable and balanced within that team itself, so others can be fucked and be thrown out and be traded, which is a conflict of interest. But here we go. Sharpe and his co-host, former NBA player Joe Johnson, believe it is a conflict of interest for Paul to propose a trade involving a player. Reaves, he does not represent, while simultaneously representing another star player, James, on the same team. Tampering concerns. Sharpe explicitly stated that Paul's comments look like a lot of what? Tampering, which is so true. When you tamper like that, it only suggests and it shows what the other person is tempting to do to, once again, save his client's ass, to put his client first, to put his client on top of the player that they suggest should be traded, and that's illegal when it comes to the sports industry. But today the NBA don't give a fuck because LeBron James has the NBA on his pockets. And Clutch Sports, how many of these players are not within the business, within the Clutch Sports itself? So they don't say nothing. They don't open their mouths. They don't defend what's real, and they don't defend the reality and the perspective of what he's doing is fucking wrong. So what does Rich Paul do? He takes advantage of that. And Maxwell, or Max Kellerman, let me just put it out there like that, him being smarter and him being more educated than Rich Paul in this scenario, he don't say a fucking thing. He just, yeah, that would be a good trade. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh, hell yeah, that'll be an amazing trade. You know what, Max? I am so disappointed in you. But it also states, Agents Row, the consensus from the Nightcap show was that agents should focus on their own client's best interest privately rather than creating public chaos by discussing other players or teams on a podcast. Austin Rivers also publicly called on Paul to stop doing podcasts for this season. So basically, now he's facing backlash. And LeBron James felt the backlash himself. So he publicly had to go out there and he stated some bullshit that don't make no sense. Rich Paul, he's his old man. He can say what he want to say. I can't tell him what to say, but I don't want that to reflect on me or bounce back on me because Austin Reaves knows how I feel about him and how much I care about him. Man, you don't care about shit. You don't care about nothing but yourself. You've been wanting Austin Reaves to be traded. You said that when the Timberwolves annihilated your ass in the playoffs and you had that press conference and you said, when it comes to contract situations, me and Austin Reaves, we have a lot to think about because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to be the options or what choices we need to make. Why would you have Austin Reaves in your mouth? Because you wanted Rich Paul. Y'all planned this shit already. Y'all orchestrated this shit already. And Shannon Sharpe said, Rich Paul, you talking too much. Stop talking about players that are not your clients. You know what I'm saying? Be worried about LeBron James, who you glaze and put honey in your butt cheeks and in your nipples for him to suck on because you're trying to protect the narrative and you try to protect LeBron James not to be traded from the Lakers, which the Lakers are not going to extend his contract. If they do, the Lakers are dumb as fuck and they deserve everything they're getting. Luka is the leader of this team now, and basically I don't even feel like he is. I still feel like LeBron James is still a man with the Lakers. You don't see the embarrassment of what this man is doing to the Lakers? Do you see that LeBron James is 1 for 32 in clutch times when it comes to being an LA Laker player? 1 for 32 in the last 8 seasons. He's only made 1 clutch shot in 8 years. And you got people like Rich Paul, Shannon Sharpe, Nick Wright, and other glazing this dude, like Kendrick Perkins. Man, you know what? Luka, he's the worst defender to ever touch a ball in the NBA in history. You know what, Shannon Sharpe? Your voice has a volume. Your voice speaks louder than words. You can change your narrative by just being honest and being truthful to what it really is. If you keep on glazing LeBron James, Don't you think LeBron James is looking at you weird now? Since you said that about Rich Paul, his agent? Don't you think that LeBron James is saying, man, I thought you were supposed to be with me. You know what I'm saying? I thought you had my back. Don't you got my bed sheets in your bed? Don't you smell my shoes? Every time I give you a pair of shoes, don't you smell my socks? When you hug me, don't you close your eyes? When you get honey, don't you drip them in your nipples and butt cheeks and you think about and dream about me? LeBron is mad at Shannon Sharpe, y'all. I don't care what nobody says. LeBron is heated. That's why he had to come out to the defense of Rich Paul. Hey, you know, he's his own man. You can say what he want to say. Listen, bruh, I'm going to tell you something. These people are so stuck under LeBron James's asshole, they don't know what's right from wrong. It's like they stuck in a matrix. They don't even understand what it is to just be honest and be truthful and be loyal and faithful with yourself, and especially the game of basketball. Stop being biased for once. And in some cases, I have to say, Shannon Sharpe calls some things out. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of these cases where Shannon Sharpe said, you know what? Enough is enough. But Shannon Sharpe, enough is enough with your glaze and your honey dipping, butt cheek clapping, and honey dookie love giving to LeBron James. And Rich Paul, you should know how to stay in your lane. Like Kevin Hart says, stay in your lane, brother. Don't talk about other players who you not an agent to. Don't talk about implementing other players into being traded when it's conflict of interest. When you are assimilating and you are fabricating and you are suggesting that the Lakers organization do that so you can save your boy's ass and Austin Reaves doesn't get his bag, which he well so much deserve it. You understand? I remember when Austin Reaves started playing with the Lakers, Austin Reaves was just making 7 points a game because LeBron was hogging him to that point. When LeBron sat down, Reaves was scoring almost 30 points a game. He even had a point where he scored 50 points. He saved your ass and Luka's ass. The only thing that I have a problem with Austin Reaves in is just like with Luka. And it's just like with you. Y'all do not play defense for shit. Y'all defense is horrible. But Rich Paul, for you to make them comments, you're dead wrong. And you know exactly what you was doing. Don't give me that bullshit that you was just, making a case or just picturing a narrative perspective where, it is possible to do so if you want the Lakers to be great or you want to make the Lakers a competitive team with more competition. And if you want to get the defense of the Lakers to be a better defense, stop your bullshit. We all know why you're doing this. And you're doing it to save your client's ass. You're doing it because you want your client to keep on destroying the reputation, the organization, and the association of the Los Angeles Lakers. That's why you're doing this. And it also gives you an extra bag with interest and profit and a commission on top of it. And your narratives about Michael Jordan and why people were buying Michael Jordan shoes, it wasn't the reason why, you know what I'm saying? It's just so much that you do. And Shannon Sharpe is right. Just shut up. Shut up and don't speak. Speak about your client. Speak about your anti-GOAT. And as you can see here, you know what I'm saying? The narrative of you running or why people bought Michael Jordan shoes, you know the backlash that you received on that. And let me tell you something. If you keep on going the way you're going, you thinking that you're perfecting a legacy that's already broken, a legacy that's already tarnished, a legacy that doesn't even exist within the existing itself without calling it a matrix move. You are proceeding into a legacy that we don't see, that we don't respect, that we don't condone, that we don't even want to look at. You're narrating your own conflict of interest because it benefits you and your client. And this is Max looking as in saying, what did I get myself into? Why am I in this podcast? Why did I sign myself for this fucking proposition and chaos? It's called LeBron James put you in his pockets and you agree to it. And that's what happens when you sell your soul for riches, when you want to get an extra bag in your paycheck instead of just keeping it neutral. Because even Austin Reaves said it, man, I'm willing to take a pay cut to stay with the purple because I got purple in my veins. I want to be a Laker for life. I don't want to be traded. And that's the reason why LeBron sexuals and LeBron and Rich Paul are doing this. That is their narrative. That is their perspective. That is what they're engaging to see if the organization gets rid of Mr. Austin Reaves. What the fuck? Organization is going to allow for a 41-year-old man to allow for an agent to suggest something at that level to trade Austin Reaves, who still can do numbers, who still can make the Lakers better, and who was winning with the Lakers when LeBron James was in the bench, is an embarrassment. That's what the NBA is today, a fucking embarrassment. It is sad to see how embarrassing the NBA Association and just basketball period has become. It's like losing, embarrassment, being ashamed is celebrated and congratulated more than anything of what we've ever seen. And Shannon Sharpe stood up and said, no, enough is enough. Stop talking. Rich Paul, you talking too much. You need to shut the fuck up and just be there for your client, because your client needs you more than ever. And if you keep on with this conflict of interest, back then you was fined, you was fired, or you was even suspended if you said some shit like that. But since Adam Silver has LeBron James written all over his forehead, and he knows if he F's up with LeBron James, it's gonna backfire on him, he's allowed to get away with shit like this. But y'all leave y'all comments down below and tell me if Shannon Sharpe was wrong. There's your boy Chico Black. Peace, y'all. Take care, and y'all let me know what time it is. There's your boy. I'm out.